Specialized works with AliExpress and Chinese law enforcement for the largest counterfeit bust in Specialized history. Over $1.6 million in counterfeit items such as frames, wheels, and other brands as well. And this has been going on for a very long time. Me working in the bicycle industry and selling primarily Specialized, I have seen hundreds of counterfeit products come into my store, from zip to Specialized frames, road and mountain, from handlebars to helmets, everything of that matter. And it always puts us, the retailer, in the awkward situation of having to explain to this customer that it is a fake item, because some of them legitimately think that it is a real item. And there are also other of these items that are listed on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, like a Tarmac SL7 that you can clearly see it's a counterfeit frame if you are familiar with the product, and then it's just fitted out with SRAM or Shimano, and they're selling for like $6 or $7 grand. This makes that customer think that it's trustworthy, it's within the price range, and they buy it without second guessing it. It is a crazy experience. So we're going to go through this story right here. I'm also going to showcase you guys a couple of items to go ahead and figure out what a frame is, because on my channel, my biggest viewed video ever is this one right here, how to spot a fake Specialized Chinese road bike. It has 360,000 views 3 years ago. I'll show you guys the dead giveaway of usually what showcases a failure. I'll also talk about some stories of mine seeing primarily fake and counterfeit items in my store as well. And also some situations. I have one story that was absolutely crazy where a customer bought a fake S-Works mountain bike frame. This was about 8 years ago. So I think this has been going on for a long time, because they're always trying to go ahead and obviously stop counterfeit items. Bought the frame for $1,500. It was an S-Works Epic hardtail. Brought it into our store to build it up. We start looking at it. We automatically see the hardware looks fake. The serial number does not match up. It is a fake item. The rep comes into our store from Specialized. He says this is fake. He takes the frame that the customer spent his hard-earned money on, $1,500. He goes, well, what the heck am I supposed to do with this? He goes, hey, this is a counterfeit item. We can't have this on the road for liability reasons. They gave that customer, in that instance, a brand new S-Works Epic frame, because the customer genuinely didn't know that he bought a fake item, because he thought it was warranty. He was trying to register with us. And then they went ahead and went after the customer, worked with the people, Specialized, and they figured out what website the product was coming from, and I'm sure it went into their investigation. So crazy stories there. And also I'll show you guys some other ways you guys can go ahead and figure out what items are fake on there for sure. So starting off, AliExpress says it worked with Specialized and Chinese law enforcement to dismantle 2 counterfeit manufacturing operations in China, leading to seizure of 1.5 million worth of fake products, including Specialized Revolve frames, handlebars, and wheels, fake Pinarellos, Cannondale, Cervelo, and Trek. You will probably know that Pinarello is one of the most fake copied frames out there on the market. Their other name for them is Chinarello or Chinarello. Pinarello is definitely one of the ones that has the most counterfeit products out there. There are even AliExpress distributors who sell a frame called Chinarello. So by all means, I am all with products coming out of China that is their own brand. Maybe that was a baby cough. Maybe taking some items from Specialized or whatever, maybe some frame designs, putting their own brand on it and selling it for a cheaper price on there. Obviously, I don't want them to steal the whole design, but by all means, it is a free market. People can do what they want and brand it how they want. But where it gets really crappy and really shitty is when a company literally just steals what that Specialized put out there and just sells it on their website as a fake counterfeit product, because the liability issues come into play. Maybe they don't do all the safety protocols. That customer could be at risk for injury. And then also these people get a bad rep when that product fails, that they blame it on, maybe they think it was a Specialized product in general. So we see this all the time. Counterfeit products imitating Specialized high-performance goods not only infringe on intellectual property rights, but also pose serious risk to consumer safety. These fake items often bypass stringent quality And safety standards, potentially endangering users and undermining consumer trust in legitimate products. Specialized has tested these counterfeit cycling helmets and frames, and they all fail safety standards. So all the products that they seize all fail their normal safety protocols, sometimes catastrophically. AliExpress said in press release Friday, according to AliExpress, the seizure was the largest anti-counterfeit action in Specialized history. So let me show you guys this quick little video right here. A customer... Actually, not even a customer. A person who lived in Miami, which is about a 2-hour drive from me, knew I had a YouTube channel. He was friends with another guy who bought products from my store. He wanted to bring in his frame into my store that he bought. He bought a fake S-Works Venge into my store. It's a customer somewhere else. He does what he wants for his money. I can't do anything about it. He brought his bike into me for a tune-up. At this point, I said, hey, you know this bike is fake? He goes, yes. I go, can I make a video on it showcasing how to spot a fake Specialized frame set? So that way I can go ahead and educate my viewers and also customers on the bicycle themselves. He said, sure, no problem. Let me show you guys a showcase real quick. So some of the biggest dead giveaways on fake products from the cycling industry is the hardware. I don't know why, but it seems like any person who goes ahead and makes a counterfeit product, whether it be Trek, Factor, Pinarello, Cervelo, Specialized, whatever it is, they can never make the hardware for the headset spacers normal. On every single Specialized tarmac, SL7, SL8, Venge, or whatever the case might be, the stem area will always be a matching coat from the plastic stem cap to the stem itself. Even on the one-piece barn stems now on the Revolve Rapide carbon fiber bar, the hardware that's on there is usually clean, it's titanium, and the fittings that go ahead and thread the bolts into each other are very slim, they look fast, they look very high-end. For some reason, these companies still cannot make their hardware good, and this is a telltale sign of it. So if you ever see a mismatch for this stem cap cover on the SL7 and SL8s, or Venges, or whatever the case might be, in a Factor, I've also seen people have fake Factor Ostrovams, fake Treks. This is always a telltale sign. Also, their spacers are always very loose, very flimsy. They don't really hold a solid form when they're by themselves. So this is another telltale sign. So always in that headset area, it showcases. For the bars as well, the stippling on the actual tops of the bar are always messy. Whereas any other product out there that has stippling on their bars, it's very clean cut, it's very uniformed, but they always have these issues here. Now, depending on the quality of the fake or counterfeit item, the paint is usually, if you pay an extreme high amount of counterfeit for the paint or for the product itself, majority times, yeah, you might see good quality paint, but always the logos are usually off, and you can kind of see right here, it kind of bends downwards. It's not clean cut. You will never see this on a legitimate Specialized or any high-end bicycling product out there at all. This decal or this paint on here is almost like warped to the point, and it kind of looks very trashy. So just pay attention to the details, because keep in mind, you're buying a $5,000 frame, and this is the case. Now for wheels, a dead giveaway, even 8 years ago, before I had this YouTube channel, I would see maybe to the point of 50 to 100 of Zip 404 or 404s, 303s come to my store. They have the same kind of Zip logo to them with the golf ball dimples, but you could still tell to a professional the decals were off, but to a normal consumer who's thinking they're getting a Zip pair of wheels for a good deal, they're like, oh, this is great. But here, the spoke nipples and the spokes themselves are always bulky, and they look very cheap, almost just like a cheap spoke from a hybrid wheel, and these nipples are massive. And the clear cut sign is this Novatech hub. Whenever you usually see a Novatech hub on a legitimate brand of Zip, Pinarello, Roval, Specialized, Trek, whoever it might be, that I will bet on myself 99% of the time that is a fake wheel. And you can see right here, I know you guys probably can't see the best, but this is a normal black hub with a Novatech symbol on there, showing that is a fake wheel set on there. Also, the Roval decals on here are trash. They look absolutely horrendous on there. And same thing which I said about the hardware for the seat post and the stem. I'm sorry, for the stem and the handlebar, it's the same thing for the seat post. I know this isn't the best shot, but always, again, the hardware on the seat post where the saddle rails mount to the bike, it is bulky, ugly. It doesn't look uniform. It doesn't look like a $5,000 frame. And again, this was a clear cut. These bolts were not the case. They didn't have the proper writing on there to match. So again, if you're ever curious to go ahead and check to see if you're buying a bike that's too good of a deal to be true, or maybe you found someone that's selling one on Facebook Marketplace and you're unsure of it, just check those areas out, because there are people who look to make these bad deals. There are people who look to screw you over. So don't always assume that a good deal is there. And usually if it's a good deal that's too good to be true, it usually is in this matter. But there also are some other ways as well. Also right here, you'll see sometimes counterfeit people put on fake logos or fake badging on the Venges. They never had this logo on the bike itself. This was something added by the counterfeit people making this frame. So again, just look to see if you're curious about buying a bicycle and you're thinking that's fake. One, that should be a red flag. But two, just go online, do some digging, find a couple pictures of the frame, look to see if there's ever a logo that doesn't look like it belongs there, and it's not on the picture you're finding online from a legitimate Specialized website. This could be the case as well. Also, Specialized has a great tool on their website. If you scroll all the way down, I think every company should have this, but if you scroll all the way down to resources, they have counterfeit awareness, how to spot a fake Specialized website. They literally give you a ton of advice here to showcase it. You can also take the serial number to any Specialized authorized retailer of any kind of Specialized bike out there, and you can tell them or ask them to look it up on their dealer website, and it will pull up that serial number and give you the exact bike on there. So if it's showcasing something that's not, that's a great way. So that is the number one thing I will lead with. Ask for the serial number and see what it looks like, but also I'll show you what fake serial numbers look like right here. So starting off with, they make fake helmets, they make fake jerseys, fake handlebars, fake wheels, all that type of stuff right there. Right here, counterfeit serial number examples. Fake, fake, fake. I've seen all these in the past, and this is normal. Specialized serial numbers never look like this. They're much more pronounced, and these are just some kind of fake ones on there. So keep in mind, if they look kind of small, they look kind of misplaced on there, they look kind of angled like this one, that is a fake serial number. Helmets. I know people who bought fake helmets before in the past, but they know they're buying fake helmets. I definitely do not recommend that. Sometimes people want just the S-Works logo and the paint job on there, but helmet safety is so crucial. And like they said, they might not meet the requirements for liability or safety protocols. Do not do it. But helmet straps, they need to be angled properly, all that type of stuff. Handlebars. Like I was talking about the stippling before, this is an original Aerofly 2 handlebar with the step down and the stippling. Look at how crappy this stippling looks on here. It doesn't look as pronounced. It doesn't meet right flush with the step down. Also, the decal for this black bar is not the same. Specialized on the old Aerofly bars. I've seen these bars in person so many times. These big ass decal bars. And people buy them and they put them on their bikes, and I had to tell the customers this is fake, and they would literally tell me it's not fake. They would literally look me in the face and be like, it's not fake. I bought it from a legitimate Specialized dealer or a website. I think they were just embarrassed they got caught. But if you have this bar on your bike, this is a fake S-Works decal, or this is a fake bar. They never made that bar with that decal on there. So many people have that on like the first generation bench. So keep in mind the graphics. And then also for mechanics, just the holes. Specialized usually has really clean dremelled out holes. They don't have these gaping holes on here that looks like it's just crappy routing on there for sure. So just keep that in mind, guys. I am really, really happy about this because it makes my job easier. I never like to see counterfeit products come in there because, like I said, it just makes a uncomfortable situation with the consumer who brought in the frame, who brought in a product, and I have to be the bearer of bad news and say, hey, this isn't covered under warranty. Hey, this product's fake. And then they look at me like I just told them that I lost them $7,000. So very, very happy for Specialized. It's great to see them working with AliExpress and Chinese law to go ahead and make sure this stuff is getting swept under the rug. If you guys ever have any questions about counterfeit products, or if you're unsure about frames, I've had people ask me about frames sometimes in the past if it's too good to be true, and I actually helped resolve a guy who was DMing me about an SL7. He was looking at a white one on Facebook Marketplace, and it was a fake frame, and I told him right off the rip, and it stopped him from buying it. If you guys ever have any issues or questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. I am responsible enough, and if I do not know the answer to, I can definitely put you in the right direction with someone who can. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and have a good day.